A brief rundown of what we know of Fodlan's history. Sothis comes to the planet as a distant alien god who takes over the planet and at some point has a problem with the inhabitants there. She wipes most of them out in a flood and then creates her own secondary life form that becomes the humans we know today. At the same time, her other children, the Nabateans, are still there. From this, we get a war that ends in Sothis dead and the human population becoming dominant and using the bones of the dragons, the Nabateans, to fight with and do war. This lasts hundreds of years until Saros, one of Sothis' children, kills the lead human who did this and helps to form the empire that becomes Adrestian. The Adrestian Empire goes on for a few hundred years. The kingdom splits away due to dispute, and then from that split, the alliance splits away from the kingdom to become the Leicester Alliance. Those three nations exist as separate entities until the Almirans from the east do an incursion into the land of Fodlan so hard that they're forced to work together, build a wall, and keep these people out. That is around the time of Geralt's birth, Geralt Bywith's father. From there, we get about 300 years of history where the peace between them is relatively fine. There's some switched alliances, there's some other little things that come up here and there. And in all that time, the original human population, the Argathans, are formulating plans and working behind the scenes to bring about the ruin of Sothis, Rhea, and the church that became the dominant force in their world. So that's a brief crash course. It's really hard to explain all this without going too in depth because there's a lot of little moving parts. But that is what we can kind of confirm happened in that time span. Of course, there's hundreds of years between some events, like the years between the death of Sothis and Rhea Saros taking back her mother's body is hundreds of years. So that's why we don't know where Fortune's Weave takes place, because it probably takes place somewhere right after that or during all that, or possibly even in the few hundred years after the Adrestian Empire formed.